Welcome into the Greater Texas Ford Dealers inaugural Female Athlete of the Month. From Texarkana to El Paso, the Panhandle to San Angelo, the Permian Basin to East Texas, Waco, Wichita Falls to Lubbock, and many points in between. We celebrate the remarkable achievements of female high school athletes based on performances on and off the field and courts. From Class 6A to private schools, it's the Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month. Joining me now, the second most famous person to ever come out of Hooks, Texas. Billy Sims, of course, number one. And number two is the one and only Anna Beth Black, your Class 3A winner of your Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month. Well, AB, what'd you think when you heard that you won this prestigious honor?
Honestly, I didn't even know what to think of it. You know, they were giving me my 1,000 points award, and then Coach Bowles just kind of threw it at me. So, kind of didn't know what to think.
Well, AB, your career has been remarkable. You play so many sports. I get tired thinking about all the things that you do. You've led this Hooks basketball team to the best record and the best start really on the season that we've seen in some 20 years. You guys have been ranked in the top 10 for the first time in 2 decades. What do you think has been the biggest difference with this team this year?
We have a lot. I would say that we have a lot more. Like we had size the past couple of years, but we can be subbing in. We have multiple. We have like depth in the bench on size, point guards. You know, we can sub everyone in and everyone out and still have a good 5 on the court.
Yeah, I think about the season, and you have some impressive wins over bigger schools from Class 4A. You guys have been rolling. It's already a 20-win season. Should I say that there's a possibility that there might be a state title in the future? Do you feel something special with these girls?
I definitely feel something special, especially starting right now. I think like in the future years, it's going to just keep getting better and better. So I definitely feel like we have a shot maybe in the future.
What about those wins over the bigger schools and just the start? How much did that help you from a confidence standpoint to know that you can really compete with anybody with all these wins over ranked teams?
I feel like not only did it help me, but we have a lot of freshmen on the team. So them seeing that we can do that is definitely going to help us like further on in district and in the playoffs.
Well, your head coach, Jack Bowles, nominated you, and he says so many great things about you. He said you're everything a coach wants in a student athlete, and you have a straight A student. You're a leader. Everybody loves you. You're the beacon of basketball, the leading scorer. You talked about hitting the 1,000 points mark recently. What has Coach meant to you?
Oh man, he's a lot. So, I mean, he's definitely helped me the 3 years that I've been at Hooks. I wouldn't want to be at any other school. So, I mean, he kind of just put me in my spot, and I wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
It's funny you say that because there was a point that your family was thinking about moving you to a different school and you guys might move. I mean, your dad is a financial advisor and, your coach Bowles, he threatened to take out his $800 of lifetime savings if you left. And thank goodness your family stayed and you still went to Hooks High School. I'm kidding about that. It was probably really about $400 in lifetime savings. But altogether, what a great coach he is. What have you learned from him? What have been the biggest lessons?
Man, there's too many. All his stories that he's told us. I probably can't even think of one just of what he's taught us. And probably just be respectful. That's probably the biggest one. Just always be respectful. Don't ever get an attitude on the court, especially attitude and effort is 2 biggest things. So that's probably one of the main things that he's taught us.
Now, are there any stories that you can tell us here that are, kind of made for TV?
I honestly can't even think of one. He tells too many to remember.
Well, tell us about some of the stars on your team and some of the girls that you enjoy going to battle with.
Every single one of them. I wouldn't want another team. I mean, I definitely feel like this is our team. Like we all jive good. We have a great connection on and off the court. But I don't know. I feel like it's just really fun to be out there with all of them.
Well, you're a heck of a scorer. I mean, you're kind of on the verge of scoring 20 points a game, but one of the numbers that really jumps out to me is your steals. I mean, you average 4 steals a game. You have the best plus minus of anybody out there in the Texarkana area, definitely in the district. How much pride do you take in your defense?
Well, Coach Bowles used to tell me that I was one of the worst defensive players on our team. So I feel like him telling me that, it didn't really get in my head, but it kind of made me like, okay, I got to prove him wrong now. So I feel like all of us take pride in our defense, and our team. I feel like we have a amazing defense. I mean, that's how we are stopping so many teams, like the bigger teams, the 4A schools. I feel like our defense is our main thing that we have going for us.
Well, he talks about your amazing vertical leap. You're 5'7", but you jump like you're 6 feet. And you're one of those players that plays all out. Where does that drive come from?
I feel like it's just my competitiveness. I've always wanted to just win no matter what I'm doing. I don't want anyone to be able to beat me.
Well, they say that you can never pick a leader, right? You can pick captains all you want. You love being a leader. Talk about that dynamic and what it means to you to get the best out of everybody else.
I mean, I feel like all of us kind of just we have multiple leaders on our team. So I feel like especially with younger girls, I feel like you need multiple leaders because they're not always going to listen to that one girl, you know. So I feel like just being able to be the leader that like everyone respects and listens to is really important, especially for our team.
Well, you're a tremendous athlete. You play a lot of other sports. You know, we talked about volleyball. You're also a star softball player. You can play anywhere in the outfield, at shortstop. How are you able to kind of change on a dime and still dominate in all these other sports?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like it just comes to, like I don't really know how to explain it, but just when it's basketball season, my brain's on basketball. When it's softball, my mind's on softball.
What do you like about playing softball and hanging out with the girls?
Softball, my favorite thing is by far the environment that you're around. And I love that, especially for hooks, because I love all the girls. And it's just fun to be able to be around all of them.
Yeah, you think about Hooks, it's a legendary softball program, always, in the mix for a state championship, no doubt about that. But with softball, there's some downtime. And I know during
Yeah.
that downtime, you and your friends like to collect crickets and lizards. And then you put them in a cage and you
Bees.
bring them to the games so they can watch. Do
We
you
catch
name the
bees.
lizards and crickets? And how did all that start?
I don't even know how it started. We just had this like critter cage, and there were like hundreds of bees just sitting in the grass outside of our field house. And so we just went and started catching them and then just took them to the games with us. And then ever since then, we just wanted to keep catching them.
Yeah. Well, what do the fans think about all that? Do they help you out?
I don't know if a lot of the fans knew, but if they did, well, all of our teammates, when we brought them on the bus, when we brought bees on the bus, they were a little freaked out because they got out. We also caught caterpillars though too. We have had a lot of caterpillars. Our coach would be pretty mad during practice when you see a caterpillar just crawling across the turf, and we would just pick it up and keep it.
That's pretty funny, and a lot of interesting fans that you have at the game there, outside of the humans that are watching you perform. I think back to November, you had an unbelievable couple of days of athletic achievement where you were able to lead the volleyball team to a second round victory. And then the very next day, a big basketball victory over mighty Paris. How are you able to pull that off?
Well, volleyball, we worked really hard. We just, we didn't have enough to get there. But as soon as volleyball was over, my mind was like, right when that game was over, my mind was switched to basketball. I was already ready for the game.
And I know you enjoy being around kids. There's a whole group of Pee-wee volleyball girls that look up to you. They want to be like you one day, and they come out and support you. How much do you enjoy working with them?
I think my favorite thing is when all the girls, like the little kids, are just sitting there cheering you on. It definitely like gets you going inside and gets a fire lit to like for the whole team too, just to like start going even harder when they're watching.
Well, around homecoming, there's always that famous powder puff football game where the football players are coaching all the girls. Tell me about that experience and how much you enjoy that, because I know you're a competitor and you want to win everything.
That is probably the most fun thing that you could ever do. All of the girls love it. It's so much fun.
How do you
Just
do in
being
that game?
able
Have you ever lost in that game?
Last year we didn't lose. This year we lost in the championship. We were close, but we couldn't get it.
What is it that you enjoy about that game so much?
Honestly, just so some of the boys realize that some of us may be a little better than them. It kind of brings the boys' egos down a little bit.
Well, you're a smart girl. You know, you're a great student. We talked about straight A's earlier, student council, National Honor Society. I don't know how you have time for all this stuff, but why is the academic part of everything so important to you?
Well, I mean, if you don't have academics, you're not going anywhere. Like, you got to have the grades, you got to have, and I feel like if you're smart in school, it's definitely going to like lean over into sports because you got to be smart on the court. You got to be smart with every single play you're doing. You got to have something.
In talking with you, you know, I'm a little concerned about my job as a sportscaster because you're an award-winning sportscaster on Hornet TV. And I'm kind of wondering, what's it like for you kind of walking around campus as a big-time TV celebrity?
Well, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I haven't done a Hornet TV episode for basketball yet, so I don't know. I'll have to see how that one goes. But I don't know. It's just kind of different, I guess.
What do you like about it? Do you enjoy it?
I'm not really one to be in front of a camera, so sometimes I enjoy it. It's fun sometimes, but other times I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm done with this.
Well, you come from a great family of athletes. There's no doubt about that. And being a TV celebrity, your mom and dad are from the world famous Texas A&M Mafia. Your dad played football and baseball at Liberty ILO. Mom was a softball star at Redwater. And your older brother played football at Pleasant Grove and is a freshman now at Texas Tech. Nobody in your family played basketball, so you're actually self-taught when it comes to basketball. How did you do that, and how did you become the great star that you are today when nobody in your family played basketball?
I think it was 6th or 7th grade when I started playing, and I kind of just went out there and just kind of ran around and just put some effort out. And I mean, I guess it worked because I didn't know anything else about basketball.
Well, Coach Bowles talks about how you're such a great student of the game and you're always working and you're kind of like one step ahead of everybody else. You're always the smartest girl on the court. Where does that come from, and how much do you enjoy kind of the chess match that you got going on within the game to be smarter than everybody else? Do you find that that's an advantage for you?
I definitely think it's an advantage because some girls don't go out. They just go out there. They don't have anything. They're not like trying to play smart. And we have there's been multiple games that we have won just by outsmarting the other team. And there's like many more that we're going to win. So I definitely feel like you have an advantage when you're playing smart.
Well, AB, so fun to celebrate your greatness. Congratulations on being the Class 3A Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month. Continued success.
Thank you.
Your Greater Texas Ford Dealers is so proud to recognize the hard work, dedication, perseverance, and passion of so many Texas high school female athletes who inspire us all. Here's this month's winners. And don't forget, you can see their interviews at Greater TX Ford for Greater Texas Ford Dealers. From Class 1A to 6A, plus private schools, we celebrate them all. Thanks so much for watching the Greater Texas Ford Dealers inaugural Female Athlete of the Month. See you next time.